Andy Hamilton. I'm the Deputy British High Commissioner here in Lusaka. There are some really important statistics that I think people back in the UK need to be aware of. Almost 50% of women between the ages of 15 and 49 have experienced some form of gender-based violence. Almost half of all the cases reported to the police on sexual violence against women are from children under the age of 16.
I think the youngest we had was raped. That was a case we had in Livingstone. She was about 13 years old, and this is a girl who was coming from school, going home, and she was raped along the way. So most of them are between the age of, starting from 13, I can say, up to about 17, 18 years old. You find that most of the girls, they are abused, and then they're afraid of talking to somebody because they are scared of how that person is going to react. So our forums have actually helped us to have girls who've come to talk to us, telling us, I was raped and I was abused. And then you find that most of these girls are abused by their relatives, not really people who are far-fetched. You find it can be an uncle or it was a neighbor that abused them.
So to put it simply, girls out here are sort of seen as irrelevant, and it's alarming that so many girls think that it's normal to sort of be beaten by a boyfriend or beaten by a husband, because it also falls into this gender-based violence, so an unhealthy relationship and gender-based violence. But they'd see it as, oh, this man's providing me with shelter and food, and maybe it was my fault, I didn't cook that dinner right, and that's why I got beat, and I'm stupid, so it must be that. We sit down and we explain it to them, and they still, a lot of the time, can't gauge it.
So what happens when a girl gets pregnant? It's a taboo. It's that girl brings shame to the family. So what happens? The family are going to force that girl into getting married at a very tender age. So we find that we have a lot of girls dropping out of school, and once they drop out, it's a few of them that really they go back to school, and then because they are forced into getting married. So their mind just switches from being a child, and then they have to start thinking like a mother. So that is one of the pressing issues that we're trying to tackle through the Girls in Action forums that are running in different districts and different communities.
On my second visit here, I went into a classroom. There's 20 girls in the classroom, and the peer leader who was doing a life skills session, he said, stick your hand up, they were all under 14, stick your hand up if you've had sex. No one put their hands up. And then he goes, okay, put your heads on the table where nobody can see you, so you're not going to be embarrassed. Stick your hand up if you had sex. Okay, so at least 75% of that group put their hands up. Then he said, keep your hand up if that was forced upon you. I would say at least 75% of that 75% kept their hands up. And that's the issue that we're dealing with, is when they're out there and they're being seen, they don't say it. But when they can do it quietly away from people, then we can get to the root of the problem.
I grew up in a village setup, and I do what I do now because I don't want other girls to go through what I went through. Most of the girls I stayed with back in the village, most of them got married at the age of 13 and at the age of 12. And then if I went back now, you find that they have 5 or 7 kids and all those things. And then when I came back from the village, I came to stay in the city in Lusaka. I learned different things through sport, and I told myself I don't want girls to go through what I went through. I don't want girls getting married at the age of 13, because everyone thinks a girl's job is to be in the kitchen cleaning. It's a machine that she has to give out babies and all those things. So I don't want to see that. So I do what I do because I've fallen in love, because I want to make a difference, because I have passion, and because I just don't want to see girls going through whatever they have to go through that they are not happy with. And the purpose of Sport in Action is mainly to use sport as a drive for social and economical change. So we're targeting the young people themselves, we're targeting the parents, or the teachers, the tradition leaders, the religion leaders. Girls in Action, like I said, it's running in 4 districts in the country, and our target is to enroll 700 girls yearly.
I had a girl that was probably no older than 12. She came up to me at the end of the session, can I ask you a personal question? And the session was, the session wasn't even, we discussed HIV, but it wasn't a HIV focused session. She came up to me at the end and she was saying, oh, so does it matter if I've been having sex with a boy without a condom? And I was like, well, have you? And she got really funny, like, really panicking. And she was like, she wouldn't say. And I was like, if you have, that's completely fine, but we need to address this now. And she's like, no one told me this was an issue and all this. And she didn't know what HIV was before the session. So obviously after this, it triggered a bell in her head. And we were like, did you actually want to have sex? And she also got quite funny about it, which makes you think, was it forced, was it peer pressure? And it's all these things, but then you start delving into it, and sometimes the girls put up a defensive and they don't want to go any further. It breaks my heart, honestly, it breaks my heart. Because I can never switch off from it. You just have these things going on in your head all the time, and you literally can't turn off from it. And it's just an example. It wasn't even sport and action. I was on my way to a sport and action session. A little girl came up to me and was talking to me and running around me. And kids in Japan are so friendly. As soon as you got off the bus, you have 10 either side of you. She had marks up here, like all around her, all around the back as well.
The worrying thing is, girls are getting beaten, raped, and it's okay. It's like, it's just not okay. It's just not okay.
We have a task today of making this world a better place.
During sport, we actually teach them about teamwork, we teach them about discipline, we teach them about being determined, we teach them about goals. So all the life skill sessions that we do, they are all integrated with a sport aspect as well as a life skill aspect. On a day where we're doing, for example, shooting, and then in the shooting topic, we're going to integrate a life skill, we're going to integrate a health or a social issue that is pressing them. So that way they are playing netball and they are also learning about different things affecting them.
Sport comes in really, really well with this because it gives the children something to really throw themselves into. There's a system at Sport and Action where a lot of people that are here as peer leaders have started as participants. They've worked their way up and it gives them a progression ladder, especially the girls that are out of school. It also teaches them lots of transferable life skills like working as a team, so this is all collaborative practice, and then these skills they'll be able to then put into different situations, and it also gives them a chance to socialise and interact with other girls of their own age. So it's a session where it's a really nice safe place for them. We try and create a haven for them where they can come and they can be themselves and they can engage in sport. And I think everyone here knows the benefits of sport.
I'm with you. Just a love. No, don't let this end with you.
It's just a feel-good activity where you can meet people, you can enjoy yourself, and you can work towards taking part in a match, or there's all these different things that they've come alongside with it. But it creates another community outside of the community they come from. So I think it's like a sport family that you get from being here.
Sport has grown me, it's shaped me, it's been a family for me, it's made me resilient, it's made me understand more about the world, it's given me life skills. I think that's the place to start. You need a hook, and so I think sport's the hook, and sport opens up the door. Sport gives you that opportunity to meet people and to hear what they're about.
So different to the problems that we have in the UK. Don't get me wrong, that we have hundreds and hundreds of problems in the UK, but they're so much more developed than a lot of the problems out here, I think. And we're just stripping it right down back to the basics there. We just need to give these girls a voice. But this is the thing, in this session they have the voice. Then they coach, they play with Coach Patricia, who everyone loves. They play with their teammates, they're putting their life skills into practice, problem solving, team building, all of this. And they leave the session and they have to look after 6 of their brothers and sisters. They have to cook the dinner for the night, they have to clean the house. They're expected to also do this. They don't go to school. They can't read and write. They have no time to even sit and read a book. They have no time for themselves. And because of that, the children are growing up too quickly. They're having their childhood taken away from them. And then this is why we also face these other issues that maybe back home might not be as prominent in a younger age, like drinking and the alcohol abuse, the drug abuse, because they're finding themselves in a place where they've grown up so fast and they're finding all these problems on their shoulders, and they're in a community and their friends are, go on, this would be much better, and this would be better. They don't want to say no because they don't want to lose their friends because they've got nothing else. They're just going to stuck like this, and you're stuck here.
So basically there was a dorm built for the orphanage, but there was no beds, so we've just been out and bartered with everybody we could find, and then just got 30 beds for the girls' dormitory. So yeah, sorted. No female or no girls should have to have rape in their childhood. It's just everything they deal with all the time, and just think somewhere safe for the girls. And yet, it's not 1,000, but it's 30. It makes a difference. So £50 yesterday bought a bed, a blanket, and a pillow. £50 here helps a life skills session being run, and that means that's an outreach of 30 girls. £50 can do so much, and it's not about I praise all of the charities. Everybody does their bit, and everybody should do their bit, but it's not about changing Zambia in the sense of who they are. They're great, effervescent people. It's not about saying let's do it the British way. It's not that. It's just making them making people who have difficult situations understand that no matter what your culture is, it's like being beaten and hit is not okay. And I think £50 allows us an opportunity to get into those people and to allow them to understand how we can support them to live a better life for themselves. Not our life. We don't want them to live our life. We want them to live their life better.
We've managed to switch how they think from what they hear in their communities. They meet what they hear from their friends, the peer pressure. We've changed their behavior and their attitudes on how they see certain things in life and how they're supposed to approach them, because the life skills that we do are done every day in the placements. Through the program, we're able to see them transform. They're able to speak out. They're able to give out answers because they've learned, they've developed their self-esteem, they've developed their self-confidence as well. So it's really helping them out.
We're working hard with the government of Zambia and with cooperating partners to ensure that not just in sporting activities like this that women have the opportunity and girls have the opportunity to play sports, but actually that they're represented in all areas of society. So whether that's within government or in civil society or just in positions of authority, and even those entrepreneurs, we're working hard to support women in those areas.
You can have all the energy and enthusiasm here that you want, but you can't do anything unless somebody gives you an opportunity. And I think that's what we do, and what Sport in Action does, and what the Perfect Day Foundation does, is gives people an opportunity, a chance